Hello everyone, welcome to our last lesson of chapter 10. We're going to end off chapter 10 with a lesson on circles in the coordinate plane. We will be writing equations of circles and we are also going to be graphing them. When your circle has a center at the origin and its radius is a length of r, the equation for your circle is going to be x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared, and this comes from the Pythagorean theorem. Now, if your circle is not centered at the origin and it instead has a center of hk, then the equation of the circle is now going to be x minus your h value squared plus y minus your k value squared is equal to your radius squared. So what I like to do is whatever my point is for my center, I just take the opposite of it when I put it into the equation. So for example, if our point is 2, -3, then we would have a x minus 2 here, because the opposite of 2 is minus 2. And if we have a -3 for k, we would have a y plus 3 here, because the opposite of -3 is plus 3. We're going to use the standard equation of the circle to write some equations for circles. In example 1, we are going to be given the center of the circle, and we're also going to be given the radius. So the center is going to be your point hk. For part A, our center is going to be at the origin. So because your center is at the origin, your equation is going to be in this form, x squared plus y squared, because x minus 0 is just x and y minus 0 is just 0. And this is going to be set equal to your radius squared. Now we want to simplify that. 3 squared is 9. So here is the equation for your circle with the center of 0, 0 with a radius of 3. For B, this time we have a center of 0, -9, and our radius is 4.2. That means our h is 0 and our k is -9. Now let's stick this into our standard equation. We're going to get x minus our h, so x, the opposite of 0, this is 0, plus y minus your k, so the opposite of -9 is plus 9. I want to set this equal to your radius squared. X minus 0 is just x, so we get x squared here, and this, oh, I forgot the square. And this is just going to stay the same, y plus 9 squared. And then we just got to put 4.2 squared into our calculator. And you get 17.64. So the equation of this circle is going to be x squared plus y plus 9 all squared is equal to 17.64. I'll let you guys try C and D, and let's move on to example 2. In example 2, we are also asked to write the standard equation of the circle, but this time we're going to be given the center and a point. So we're going to need to find the radius of the circle, because that's not given to us. What you need to do is use distance formula to find the radius. And once you find the radius, you can use the standard equation of a circle, because you just need to know the center of the circle and you need to know the radius. For 2a, we know that the center of the circle is -1, 3, and a point on the circle is -5, 6. Let's use the distance equation, and I'm going to write it up here for anyone who needs a refresher. So you want to subtract the x values, square it, subtract the y values, square it, add it, and then square root it. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to substitute the points into this equation. Here we have a double negative, which turns into positive. And then we want to simplify what's inside the parentheses. -1 plus 5 is 4, and 3 minus 6 is -3. 4 squared is 16, and -3 squared is 9, all under square root. And then we want to add the 16 and 9 together to get the square root of 25, which is equal to 5. Once you have your radius, then you can put the radius and the center of the circle into your general equation. So you want to take your x value and then the opposite of your h, plus 1. And then you add it to y, the opposite of your k value. So +3, this is going to turn to -3 squared. And you want to set it equal to your radius squared. So 5 squared, 5 times 5 is 25. There's the equation of your circle. Let's do this one more time. For B, this time we have a center of 1, 4, and the point on the circle is 4, 1. Our h value is going to be 1, and our k value is going to be 4. We want to find the radius. So again, we're going to use the distance formula. Subtract the x values, 1 minus 4, and you square it. And you add it to the y value subtracted, 4 minus 1 squared. Then you want to simplify the parentheses. 1 minus 4 is -3. 4 minus 1 is 3 squared. And then 3 squared is 9. Same with -3 squared. 9 plus 9 is the square root of 18. And let's just leave it like that really quickly. And let's write out the equation for our circle. So we want to take our x, take the opposite of our h value, -1, then you add it to y, opposite of your k value, -4, square it, and then we also want to take our radius and we want to square it. Now when you square a square root, it gets rid of the square root. So square root of 18 squared is just going to give you 18. And here's the equation for a circle. It'll be x minus 1 squared plus y minus 4 squared is equal to 18. let's move on to our last example. In our last example, we are going to be graphing a circle where we're given the standard equation of the circle. We want to identify the center and the radius of the circle. For A, we're given the equation x squared plus y squared is equal to 49. Now, because there is nothing in the parentheses involving your x and y that's not being subtracted or added, that means our h is 0 and our k is 0. And we know it's equal to 49. And it's always set equal to the square of your radius. So in order to find your radius, you want to square root this number. This is going to give you your radius. The square root of 49 is equal to 7. Once you have your center and your radius, you want to graph the circle. You first want to graph the center of the circle at 0, 0. And since your radius is 7, you're just going to count 7 units up to the left, down, and right from your center. So I'm going to count up to 0, 7, left to negative 7, 0, down to 0, negative 7, and then right to 7, 0. And once you have that, you're going to connect the points of your circle. You want to make it look as close to a circle as possible. It's okay if it doesn't look like a perfect circle. You really just need to graph those 5 points. You need to graph the origin, and you want to graph the 4 points that you get when you count the radius units from your center. All right, so there is the circle for x squared plus y squared is equal to 49. Let's do this one more time. For B, you're given the equation x minus 2 squared plus y plus 3 squared is equal to 36. We want to do the same thing. We need to identify the center. So when you're identifying the center, you want to take the opposite of your h and k values here. So opposite of negative 2 is positive 2. Opposite of 3, negative 3. So we have a center at 2, negative 3. There's our center. And now we want to find the radius of the circle. So we want to take this value and take the square root. Square root of 36 is 6. Since we have that, we're going to count 6 units from our center. Once you have that, you're just going to connect those 4 points that you just graphed into a circle. And there is the graph for our equation, x minus 2 squared plus y plus 3 squared is equal to 36. That's it for our lesson for today. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care. Come to office hours if you need help.